So let's go to the most basic remedy for the ills that the speech police and thought police would apply to ensure that dignity is, saved. And in this case, the dignity being the right to actually speak, regardless of how someone else, takes it. And the most simple answer to it is the one that the Supreme Court applied and has spoken about, that the remedy for speech you don't like is more speech.
That's right.
And consequently, if you don't like what someone's saying, instead of telling them to shut up, speak yourself.
Yeah, positive demonstrations of support for a marginalized community are more powerful, I think, than just trying to silence the people you believe are marginalizing them. Because for one thing, it shows everyone that they're not going to be excluded. Here's a bunch of people who support you and they're willing to stand up for you. That's much more powerful. They may have wondered, they may have thought in the back of their mind, maybe I really am not welcome here. Maybe I'm a foreigner, maybe I'm an alien, maybe whatever. But when they see that people stand up for them and say, no, we support you, we welcome you, we'll defend you, then you have a positive demonstration. It's much better.
And you made an example of that regarding reactions to some, unwelcoming speech, where the reactions were almost overwhelmingly to support this marginalized community, right, as opposed to join with the haters who were trying to push it down, and actually showed that community demonstrably that the number of people who support them vastly outweighed the number of people who want to join the haters. And I believe the point you made was that wouldn't have been known to that community absent everybody having the right to speak, including the haters.
True. That's right. That's right. It's only because people said the hateful things that it provoked this reaction. And absent that reaction, they may have wondered just how broad a base of support they had, whether or not they really were going to be excluded, in danger of being excluded. And of course, it also allows you to see who the haters are if you let them talk.
They marginalize themselves.
Yeah,
that's the
right.
thing. Okay,
right.
They may, the case gets made that if you allow hateful speech, it will generate, it's a recruiting tool for the haters. And in almost every case, it becomes almost the opposite. In every time they give the Nazis a permit to speak or do anything, the counter demonstration is massive. It dwarfs by orders of magnitude the morons who want to put out their white supremacist idiotic views. So absent that ability for them to put it out, you lose them self-identifying as idiots, and you lose the ability to show support for the community. But you made another point that I think is important too, is if you outlaw the speech itself, you drive it underground. It's not going away.
That's right.
All right, idiots who believe that, the people who believe these heinous and hateful things, are not going to stop that. What they're going to do is, if they are not allowed to speak it publicly, be mocked, get praise from a couple clapping toothless idiots, and then be, disdained by the rest of society, they will form secret societies, in which case they will believe potentially that they have more support than they do and less disdain.
Right. I think that's the story of the Charlottesville issue. We've had two of them now. And the first time, I think the internet allowed them to form this kind of like underground community. They talked to each other, and they got this sense that maybe there's a lot more of us, because we found 500 of us around the country willing to come together. And it turned out, which is a good thing about America, there aren't more than 500 of you maybe, and you're certainly going to encounter a hostile reaction. And so this year, I saw a sign walking around D.C. last night that said, there were only 24 of them showed up. I don't know if that's right, but it sounds right.
That's what they said.
And I think that's a very positive quality. Now, of course, that's a feature of America, that we have this kind of pluralistic, accepting society. But if it weren't a feature of your country, if in fact it were the case that really it was a danger, that soon there was going to be a mob of people excluding you and driving you out, killing you, taking your stuff, you might want to know that. And so even in that extreme case, in which you're in a society that it really is about to exclude a marginalized population, I think freedom of speech is still the way to go, because you need to send a warning that those people who
buy
are
guns,
in danger,
buy ammo, sharpen your knives.
Yeah, it might be time to sell your property. You might want to get on a plane, or you might want to form an organization to defend yourselves. I mean, those are viable options.